Hello everyone, welcome to 3ddesignacademy.com. In this lesson, we'll continue with part 180 of the Mercedes-Benz E-Class Coupe project. So in the previous lesson, I spent some time restructuring some of the surfaces over here, so I'm going to go ahead and continue on with the build. So let's go ahead and delete this one because I think the highlight looks pretty good. And I think I'm just going to continue rebuilding some of these areas over here. So I'm just going to untrim all of these. And let's go ahead and untrim this one over here. And while I'm on this, I think I'm just going to make sure that this one is nicely aligned. So first of all, actually, I think I'm going to delete these COSs over here because I'm going to reproject them, and I'm going to trim this one over here. And let's go ahead and delete the construction history over here. And I'm just going to make sure that this one is good. Now, because of the surface change over here, I'm pretty sure this was affected. So I'm just going to make sure that it's still good. Oh, what do you know? It's still curvature, which is good. Well, I guess that's because it's still curvature to this one. So I guess the curvature continues still stay the same. So it looks like I don't have to do anything over there. All right, that's not however, this one does, okay, so there needs to be a fillet that connects from here to here. So I'm going to do that. Since this was modified, I'm wondering, let's do this. I think I'm just going to extend this one, because I believe this is a variable fillet, or is it not? Existing theoretical. Okay, so it looks like it's just 60. So let's see. So I'm going to say chord, it's going to G2. I'm going to say 60 over here. And I'm just going to do that. Make sure the direction is good. Okay, so it looks like it's a little bit different. Which is fine. So I think I just need to extend it instead of doing. So I'm just going to extend this one, and I'm just going to use this as a guideline over here. Now that's it. However, I'm just going to untrim this one over here so that I know where it needs to end up. So I'm just going to extend this piece over here. I'm just going to use this in order to align the surface. So first of all, let's get rid of this one because I think this is no longer relevant. And I'm going to, well, as you can see over here, the structure is a little bit different than before. So I just got to be aware of that. All right, so I'm just going to align this one over here. I'm going to say project. Looks like it needs to, okay, so it looks like it's a little bit, out of bounds. So I'm just going to make sure that that's inside, and I'm just going to align this one, and I'm going to align this one. Now this one I should actually rebuild it, but I think it's because it's not, I don't think it's deviating too much, so I think this should be okay. So I'm just going to project in normal, and I think that should be good. All right, so actually, you know what, maybe I can project in Z. Yeah, I think it's totally fine. Okay, that's what I'm just going to make sure that the continue over here is good, which it is. And now I'm just going to delete the COS over here. I'm just going to delete the construction history over here. And let's go ahead and trim. So I'm just going to trim this one. Oh, looks like I do need to reproject this one. Well, actually, you know what? I probably don't even need to reproject this because, well, I don't need it anymore. But just in case, I'll just do that. And I'll leave it here for now because, well, eventually I will have to revert back to, go back to over here, these areas over here, and make sure that everything is connected well. But hopefully, shouldn't create too many problems. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that this one over here is connected to the edge. I'm going to make sure that this one is connected to that edge. And let's see, so I'm just going to untrim this one over here. I think that's looking pretty good. And yeah, I think if I just project it like this, I think everything should be okay. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to grab this surface over here. Now this is going to fillet it through, so that's going to be a little bit different. But this one, let's go ahead and pick this one, this one, this one, this one, like this. And I'm just going to project a view like this. I think that should be okay. And I'm going to do the same thing over here, like this. And now let's go ahead and trim. And this one, I'm just going to delete the COS for now. And I'm going to trim here, 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 and here. Of course, these are no longer needed, so I'm going to hide. And let's actually hide some of these curves over here temporarily while I work on this one. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a freeform blend, and I'm just going to grab all of these. Oh, why is it like that? Actually, before I do anything else, let me just make sure the transparency is down. And to be honest, right now, I don't really need the canvases, so maybe I'll just do that. All right, let's see. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, because this needs to be projected again, and I did it from view, I'm going to. Oh, that's why. Okay. All right. So delete the COS over there, and let's go ahead and trim this one over here. I'm just going to hide all the curves like this. Okay, so that's good. And let's go ahead and do a freeform blend. So I'm going to just pick these edges over here, pick this one over here. I'm going to say connect ends like this. Structure actually looks not too bad. And this one is actually pretty close, which is nice. So what I'm going to do is connect ends, it's free, no edge line. Okay. So now I'm just going to see if I can do a Bezier. Get rid of the spans over here and improve the CV structure over here. Now, and I'm going to see if I can do a form factor. That should make it a little bit closer, but looks like it doesn't. But that's okay. I think it's close enough where I can just do a clean blend and it should be okay. All right, so that's okay. So I'm just going to leave it as a freeform blend, and let's just check the highlights, make sure that the flow is nice. I wish this was a little bit better, but whatever. Okay, for this one, let's see if I can do this. I'm just going to see if I can just do a freeform default over here. Now, sometimes the CV structure can have a little bit of effect on the highlights. So I'm going to say edge align. Although with this one, I don't think there is. I just wish it was a little bit cleaner. Let's see. So I'm going to say edge align. Yeah, I don't see a difference between the two. Okay, so actually, you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to see if I just blend this one and this one, see if that'll be a little bit better. So I'm going to say connect ends over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see, let's see, I'm going to connect ends, modify range. If I do this, to be honest, I'm not seeing a lot of highlight differences. So let's do this. I'm going to just get a bunch of freeform blends, and I'm going to just compare them. So this is proposal 1. So I'm going to copy and paste over here, put it over here, and let's just delete all of these unnecessary surfaces. So I'm going to get rid of that. Rear surface, what's in this one? I'm going to delete all the unused layers. Okay, so that's good. This one, I don't think I need anymore. So I'm going to get rid of that. That's one more layer that I can delete. Okay, so that's good. All right, so now, actually, you know what? Let's do this. I'm just going to copy and paste a decent sized chunk like that. So that's good over here. Let's just hide all the curves. And I'm going to do one where it's just default like this. And let's just go ahead and extend this one so that I have a chunk over here. Now, it doesn't really need to be aligned. I just need something in there so that I can take a look. So that's another proposal. So I'm just going to copy and paste. To be honest, I don't think there is a lot of difference. However, even if it makes a slight one, so I'm going to say, well, that one I can just put it there. And for the final one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to individually blend it. So I'm just going to say connect ends over here, and I'm just going to say connect ends like this so that it's a little bit more directional. So let's go ahead and do this, and I'm just going to say extend over here. Let's see. I'm going to do a rail over here, curvature and curvature on both sides. Degree 5. Degree 5. Just going to do a little bit of rotation like this, just so that it's somewhat consistent. Just going to make sure that's curvature, edge. Yeah, I think that's good enough. All right, and this will be proposal 3. So I'm just going to copy and paste, delete the construction history, and put it on a different layer. And let's go ahead and object display, hide unselected, and I'm just going to go through these. Okay, so we have proposal 1 here, proposal 2 here, proposal 3 here. Just going to cycle through them. I think this one 5 is better than 12 because, as you can see, it becomes a little bit more minor. It still looks a little bit, doesn't look too great. And I think this actually looks the best because the amount of highlight transition. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I think the first one definitely looks a little bit better because, well, basically it's getting rid of the kinks in here. It's very minor, but yeah, okay, so let's just go with the first one. Okay, so I'm just going to delete all of these because they are no longer necessary, and I'm just going to delete unused layers. All right, and this one, I'm just going to make sure that it's edge align all the way through. Okay, and I'm just going to make sure that everything's curvature between the surfaces. So this one looks like there's a little bit of curvature deviation. That one's 1.0. Looks like that one has a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix those, and I'll just blend this one in, and that should be good. All right, so let's start with this one. Let's see, 1.0. I think this should be quite easy. So I'm just going to grab this CV over here. Well, actually, let me just hide all the curves. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete the construction history over here. Just going to do a transform CV. There it is, nice and easy. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now, here's a little bit of dilemma. This is actually on top of fillet, which means that this is supposed to be secondary. However, this patch is a little bit smaller. So in this case, you just gotta determine which one works better. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to try this one first. Looks like it has absolutely no effect. That's strange. that shouldn't be. So I'm just going to grab one of the CVs over here. Staying in 1.0, that's ridiculous. Okay, so it looks like that's not going to work. I think that's definitely an alias error. But let me see if I can just align this one over here. Oh, that fails tangency. No, that not tangency. My apologies. That actually fails position over there. So let's see if I can get it to align over here. Edge align. No, that. I'm just going to say revert. Oh, actually, no, I cannot do that anymore. Okay, so let's just align this piece over here. That'll of course increase deviation over here. Worst case scenario, I can just always redo this one. However, let's see. I'm going to align this one over here. Oh, there we go. What do you know? Okay, so that's taken care of. So it's curvature all through there. And let's see if I can get this to one to work. My only problem is because of the angle, getting curvature deviation over here might be a little bit difficult. But doesn't hurt to try. So curvature deviation set to max. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I don't know if this is the right CV to grab, but let's give it a try. Now, unfortunately, because this is a fillet on top of a fillet, the CV structure might be a little bit weird, but well, it gets the job done. So let's just leave it. Now, I'm really hoping that this will be an easy fix, but I have my doubts. So let's give it a go. Oh, what do you know? It is. Oh, that's because of the construction history, so I'm just going to delete it. And let's go ahead and there it is. I got curvature there. I got curvature here. Now the only thing I need to do is I just need to get curvature over here. So for this one, I'm going to just do an insert. So curve and surface over here. Oh, actually, before I do that, let's do this one. So it looks like there was a tiny little COS that probably shouldn't be there. So I'm just going to project this one and trim that. And I'm going to project over here. Oh, that one's already trimmed, so that's good. Delete the COS over here. I probably do need to re-intersect all of those. Okay, so let's go ahead and insert over here. Snap it there. And I'm going to do an insert over here, snap it over here, like that. Trim here, trim here. Let's just connect the two using freeform blend. For this one, I'm going to turn Bezier off. Looks like that's not working. Okay, so for this one, let's do this. I'm just going to duplicate the edge over here like this. Or I can probably just align too. So let's do that. I'm going to say align. I'm going to reduce the spans over here. Edge on both sides. Do the same thing over here. And let's see if it's curvature here and here. Hopefully it is. Theoretically, it should. Now the angle is a little bit different, so that might throw a curveball, but it should be okay. So let's just project over here like this. Check the continue over here. And looks like it's a little bit off, but at least this one's curvature, which is good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, well, there are a couple ways to do this. You can project a line or you can edge a line. But let's see if project a line works. So I'm just going to align project over here. So that's curvature. And I'm going to say normal or view. I don't think Z would work. I'm just going to make sure that curvature continue over here is still good. So let's just delete the locator over here. I'm going to pick this one. Okay, so curvature deviation on both sides. So let's see if I can get those resolved. So I'm just going to delete the construction history over here. I'm just going to do a little bit of hand manipulation. That's no good. Okay, so the reason why I say that is because it's going back and forth. All right, actually, you know what? Maybe I will be able to get it to work. What do you know? There it is. But I don't know why it does that. All right, so let's go over to this side. That's okay, so that's good. It's failing on that side though. Okay, so if that's the case, let me just revert it back a little bit to this point. Okay, so it's starting to fail on that side, so I'm just going to let that be. Let it go a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, so when there's a reversal of the comb like this, that usually means trouble. So you just want to, usually what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's sort of consistent. And I think it is. Although I don't know why it's failing over there. So let me just take care of this one. And hopefully I can take care of that one. So this one is easy. However, this one might not be so. Actually, you know what? I think I should be able to get it. Okay, so that's good. And I'm just going to manipulate this one a little bit. Now, when it's bouncing up and down like this, it's because I'm moving both. Basically, it's like a seesaw. So you just want to do something that's a little bit farther away. And if it's end up creating something like this, then you just want to make sure to manipulate other areas and just get it within the tolerance. And there it is. And that's curvature. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm just going to go ahead and delete the construction history over here. And let's go ahead and trim all these. So I'm going to trim here. And I'm going to untrim this one. And let's just retrim. Actually, you know what? For this one, I'm going to, because it's in multiple pieces, I'm just going to project this one over here. And this one I'm just going to cut. So let's grab a curve over here like this. And I'm just going to use curve section tool. And now before I trim, I do need to take care of that one. So I'm just going to untrim. Well, let's see. So this one. Oh, actually this fillet actually needs to be redone because it needs to be on top of this fillet. So I'll do that a little bit later. Well, let's do this one first. So I'm just going to grab these over here. Copy and paste. So I'm going to project over here, delete the curves. Trim here, and I'm going to trim here. Just use a bi-rail. 1 and 2. Like this. I don't know why it does that. Just do a rebuild. Okay, and I'm just going to align edge over here and edge over here. That's good. Delete the construction history there, and that should be good. So I'm going to probably do that a little bit later, but at least the patch over here is good. So I'm just going to combine the two. So let's go ahead and, well, COS is there, so everything's good. And I'm just going to trim this one over here. So that's good. And I think the only thing left to do is trimming these ones. So let's go ahead and do that too. Looks like there is not a lot of difference, which is excellent. However, I'm pretty sure there is still a little bit of gap. Now, that's not however, I'm probably going to wait for, I do need to make sure that this is all working before I trim this one. But at least these ones over here, well, actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do that. So looks like it's right at the spot. Now, I'm going to just measure what the deviation is. So it looks like there is a tiny little bit, but it's not much, which is excellent. So I'm just going to extend it a little bit. I'm going to turn merge on. I'm going to extend this one. And I'm going to also extend, oh, this one looks like it's already extended. So let's just intersect and trim. So this one over here, I'm just going to delete the construction history. I'm going to untrim, retrim. There has not been any changes to that surface, so that's good. I'm going to grab this one, intersect over here. I'm going to grab these two, intersect over here. I'm going to trim that one. This one. These ones over here. This one over here. So that everything's good there. And this one, I'm going to wait until I can resolve this one over here. Actually, you know what? That shouldn't matter. Yeah, I think it should be okay. All right, so let's just go ahead and trim it out. So I'm just going to intersect it like this. So now this can be trimmed. And this one can also be trimmed like that. Okay, everything looks good. I'm just going to delete the construction history. And that's done. Now I'm just going to keep this piece over here just in case. Actually, you know what? That actually has no relation to anything over here because it cuts the boundary over here. So I think I can put that back in the height layer. And that's looking pretty good. Okay, so the only thing left to do on this one is, of course, I have to do this one, this fillet over here. I do have to do this fillet over here. And I'm just going to make sure that everything ties back in here. But so far, not too bad. Well, of course, I do have to tie this one in. But yeah, not too bad. And yeah, pretty good progress. And I like how this is flowing nicely over here. So yeah, I think everything's looking pretty good. All right, I wish the highlight over here was a little bit better, but well, it is what it is. So I'll just let that be. Okay, so that is it for part 180. We will pick this up in the next tutorial, and thank you guys for watching. Want to learn more? Then become a member at 3ddesignacademy.com, where you will find hundreds of video tutorials ranging from basics, including car creations, intermediate level tutorials such as this wheel, all the way to Class A modeling of the interior car exterior. Interested? Visit 3ddesignacademy.com.